It's the Happy Families Podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
Today on the Happy Families Podcast, as we count down to Christmas, only 2 weeks to go, Kylie. 2 weeks till Christmas Eve. Today's the 10th. 24th is Christmas Eve. You've asked for the rains. See what I did there? Because reindeer and Santa Claus, you've asked for the rain.
Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, come on. Where's your Christmas spirit? I'm looking for a lot more enthusiasm.
Ho, ho, ho.
I love it. That almost sounded like a recording. That sounded like JR put something in there. Well done. I like it. You've asked for the rains today. You want to talk about 5 ways to make Christmas awesome. I'm just here for the comedic relief.
Well, I am curious. What are you planning on doing to make Christmas awesome?
I'm planning on being fully present. I can't believe you're laughing.
That is such a cop-out. Have you done the Christmas shopping?
As per so this year we've decided that we're not going to do gifts, but as per usual, I would imagine that maybe 2 or 3 days prior to Christmas, I'm going to have a great big brain explosion and go and max out the credit card like I did last year and the year before and buy gifts for everybody, even though we're not doing gifts. It's still kind of in the back of my mind that that's going to happen.
An Apple Watch would be fine.
Right. Max out both credit cards by the sounds of things. No, other than that, I'm going to be here to help. I'm going to be playing with the kids, swimming in the pool, preparing food, cleaning up food, and just being present, making sure that the air conditioners working, the windows are all closed so that we can stay nice and cool.
Did you say the windows are all clean?
Closed.
That would be amazing.
Right. 5 ways to make Christmas awesome. You're in charge of this one.
Tip number 1.
Yeah.
Focus on time together, not stuff.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, so
there I
don't
am
go
right
and max
there.
the credit card out.
Okay, but I said that I was going to focus on just being present. I had that one right. Just like dollars are the currency of the economy, connection is the currency of our relationships.
I've watched so many times in families, there is so much emphasis on making sure the decorations are right and all the food and festivities that go with it. And by the end of it all, Mum is exhausted. She's been in the kitchen for days. She's been, decorating and wrapping and all the bits and pieces, and she doesn't get to enjoy it. And therefore, no one gets to enjoy it really, because there's just so much angst and exhaustion wrapped around it.
So I'm a really big believer in all in. This is something that we talk about from time to time on the pod. Probably not enough, quite honestly. And all in is literally this thing where at the end of dinner or at the end of a meal, I say, all right, everyone, it's all in. And literally everyone comes into the kitchen and we all work together on getting stuff done. When we work together as a team, we enjoy it more. We're more productive, more efficient, and we just get to be in each other's presence. So when it comes to the rigmarole of the cooking and cleaning and the hassle sort of stuff, I would encourage an all-in approach. I think that's going to work better for everybody. And back to your point, kids spell love Time. Connection is about feeling seen, heard, and valued. And so if you can make yourself available for that and spend less time on, individual and selfish pursuits, you're going to have a great day. I love it. That's number 1.
Number 2, instead of focusing on gifts and spending lots of money that we don't all really have, right?
Absolutely. That's why we use credit cards.
Why not make a game out of the gift-giving process? Everybody enjoys giving a gift.
Yeah.
But let's have some fun with it. Over the years, we've done a whole heap of different ways of doing things.
Are you going to share some of the fun games?
But the one that we love the most is the white elephant one.
Love this.
You can do this in so many different ways. We've done it where it's a $2 gift from the junk stop, and everybody's got to try and find the best gift to give for $2. It could be that you're not actually allowed to spend any money at all.
So it's got to be a homemade sort of thing.
It could be a homemade
or just
thing,
use
but
something
it
at home.
could be something from home. How many people have
re-gifting?
Yeah, how many people have things in their cupboard that they've been gifted or they've brought to give to someone and haven't done it? You've spent the money, but it's sitting there being completely underutilized.
Yeah, and on the weekend just gone, we had a $50 limit, and so everyone showed up with some really cool gifts. And so for people who are not familiar with what we're describing here, you sit down with the family, whoever's involved. So sometimes
everybody only brings one gift.
Yeah, you bring one gift each. So with my extended family for our big family Christmas weekend that we've just had, how many people? There were like, 28 people in the circle. Like it was a little bit excessive. It was probably a little bit too big. But essentially, you pull something out of the sack You don't know what it is.
Everybody gets a number first. You have to pick a number out of a hat.
Yeah. So
and whoever gets number 1, they get first choice. But essentially, you're picking blindly out of a sack of
reach
28
in,
presents.
Yeah, pull a gift out. You open
decide.
It up. And then the next, that's it. You're number 1. But then number 2, they reach in, and when they open theirs, they've got the choice of either keeping what they've opened, or they look at what you've got and they say, actually, I want that one. And you've got to swap.
So with 28 people, there are a lot of gifts.
Yep. And
the only rule you need to remember is that when you open your gift, that is the only time you get to exchange. You get to steal from somebody else.
And it makes it really fun. If you've got a gift that you think other people are going to want, you just don't let everyone see it. Like, you open it, everyone gets to see it, but then you hide it behind your back or whatever. And so that way, by the time if the next couple of people don't ask for it, by the time you get to like number 12 or number 14,
it's been completely forgotten.
They've forgotten about it. So you get to keep that one. And so it's lots of fun. There's lots and lots of laughter. And it works just as well with like a block of chocolate and a $4 or $5 spending limit as it does with a slightly more expensive spending limit. Like, it's a really cheap.
The very first time I played this, I would have been about 18, and it literally was a no spend. Find something around the house. We had people who brought like an old rugby football with the bladder had been completely popped inside it, and yet that was the thing that everyone wanted. Right. Or one of those sun visors that literally goes around the whole of your head, but it's just a visor, like bright pink thing. And again, they wanted to fight over that. Like, just these
it's just fun.
Crazy things.
Yeah, it's just fun.
But it's taking the emphasis off the gift and just the concept of spending time together, and with an element of fun.
Okay, so number 1, it's all about time and presents. Number 2,
take away the emphasis of gifts, expensive gifts, and just have a game associated with gift giving.
Oh, I just remembered one of our other favourite games is the one where everyone has a gift and you roll the dice. And if you roll a 7 or an 11, so you've got 2 die. If you roll a 7 or 11, you get to swap gifts with somebody else. I can't remember how that one ends.
The only way you're allowed to swap a gift is if you remember who has what gift.
Right.
So you roll a 7 or an 11 because there's 2 dice being rolled.
Yeah.
And I say, Justin, I want your boost bar, for instance.
Right.
And you don't have the boost bar, so I don't get the boost bar.
Okay. And then you keep on going around. Everyone rolls their 7s and 11s until all the gifts in the middle are gone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one as well. What's number 3?
Number 3 is creating Christmas Eve traditions. I was actually reading my journal from the very early days, and I found a tradition that we've stopped doing that we did in the early days together.
Was that?
It actually came out of a necessity because you and I were really impatient and we couldn't wait to open our gifts.
Yeah.
But you and I would open our gifts on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And part of the reason we started it was because we were impatient. We were so excited to share our gifts with each other as opposed to not being patient in waiting to receive your gift. It was that we were so excited to give our gifts to each other.
Yeah.
But number 2, it meant that we, number 1, had time to ourselves to do that, uninterrupted time. But secondly, on Christmas Day, we could focus on the joy that the kids were experiencing instead of having the additional of us. So that was a tradition that we did that we might pick that up again, I think.
Yeah, that sounds fun, except we're not doing gifts this year.
There are plenty of ways to do gifts.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right.
But the one that we've done for years now and is just hands down an absolute treat because this affords us to have that time together as a couple is that we give the kids a new book for Christmas on Christmas Eve with a block of chocolate, their favourite chocolate, and we send them off to bed early. This is their favourite thing to do because for the very first time all year, they are given free rein. They can eat that chocolate all up if they want and they can read for as long as they want. The only rule is they're not allowed to come out of their room.
Yeah, so we got that idea from the Icelandic tradition that's known as Jolabokaflod, which means...
I'm sure it's not how you say it.
I reckon they say Jolabokaflod. I'm sorry if I just got the accent all wrong there, which basically means the book flood, and that's an Icelandic tradition. On Christmas Eve, the books come out, the chocolate comes out, and everyone retires to their room and reads, which I really love, but it's kind of a bit antisocial. But the point here is Christmas Eve traditions. Christmas Eve traditions will make Christmas awesome, is what you're saying. There are 5 ways to make Christmas awesome. Our time is almost up. You've got another 2 for us. What's number 4?
Find people who are less fortunate that you can serve. This can be so many different ways. A family that's struggling and inviting them over for Christmas dinner maybe. Or maybe it's joining the local toy drive and the kids donate some of their old toys, or they work extra jobs around the house so that they can save money so that they can purchase toys for children less fortunate. Maybe it's doing food pantry donations. Maybe it's, I don't know, there's so many different things you can do. Maybe it's finding a local giving machine where you can donate to local charities. There are so many different things that you can do.
I'm an ambassador for the giving machines as well, just saying.
That takes the focus away from receiving and puts the focus on giving to those who are in need.
And we've done this over the years, and it's always delightful. What is your 5th and final way to make Christmas awesome in 2024?
Number 5, this can be as complicated or as easy as you want it to be, but host a neighbourhood pop-in, whether it's doing an early morning breakfast or whether they just come over for a cold drink at the end of the day, or you go ahead and put a barbecue on and everybody brings a potluck. I think there is so much joy that can be had when we bring the community together.
Yeah, we did it last year and I just loved it. I know we haven't even talked about it for this year, but you saying it is making me want to do it again this year.
And if that all seems way too much,
you
just don't think you can do that, don't even have it in your home. Close the street off. Have it on your front lawn.
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to be in a cul-de-sac or something like that. But it's not that hard to throw some buns in the oven and chuck some bacon and eggs on the grill and
give the neighbours an assignment to
do a brunch. Tell someone to bring the coffee machine and they can look after the coffees or whatever. It's fun. It's fun to get together with your neighbours. I reckon we should do it this year. You're looking at me like we still need to discuss that. I shouldn't have brought that up on the podcast. I'm sorry if any of our neighbours are listening.
If you can't do that, go caroling. We went caroling last year as well, and I was blown away at how many people, number 1, couldn't remember the last time they'd been caroled to.
If ever.
Or number 2, just the joy that our very imperfectly sung songs brought to people's, eyes and hearts as we shared our love and joy of Christmas.
Well, you've stuck an extra one in. That's 6 ways to make Christmas awesome. We will jot those down in the show notes in case you would like to have the list and talk to your family about how you could do some of that stuff. It really does make Christmas meaningful when you create these traditions and spend the time and effort to become involved and build those relationships. Kylie, thanks for taking over the podcast today. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Only a couple more episodes of Happy Families podcast for the year to go. Tomorrow on the pod, I'm sharing with you the best Christmas story, the one that I love just so very much. I can't wait to share that with you tomorrow. And on Thursday, we have a look at our favourite books of the year. In case you're looking for a last-minute gift idea for someone, it'll be our book club Christmas edition on the Happy Families podcast. If you'd like more info about making your family happy, you can get it all at happyfamilies.com.au.